This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Sonny Carl here joining us today. He's the co-manager for Scalar Health Enhancement Center, and we're excited to talk more about this center that utilizes energy and frequency to assist your body to really heal itself. We're going to talk a lot about EES and so much more, but first, I would love for Sonny to introduce himself to everyone today. Hi.
Hi, Jill. I'm Sonny Carl. My wife and I manage the Scalar Health Enhancement Center here in Kannapolis, North Carolina, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Beautiful. Well, what exactly is Scalar Health? Fill us in. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, we specialize in working to help people heal themselves through using energy and frequency. Now, energy and frequency is how the body actually functions. That's the base level at how it was created. It's how it actually functions. And when you work at the energy and frequency level, you're able to work to help the body heal itself. Now, that's a big thing that most people don't realize.
Yes.
The body must heal itself. Now, whether you go to a doctor or you go anywhere else, you have to heal yourself because the doctor can't heal you. Nobody can heal you. You can break an arm, they can set the bone, but the body has to heal it. You can go into surgery, they can take something out, they can put something in, whatever, but the body has to heal it. And so the bottom line is the body has to heal. And it does that at an energy and frequency level. So that's what we work with.
Wow. Well, I'm excited to talk to you. And I just want everyone to know, you all aren't doctors. You don't heal anyone. You assist your own body to heal themselves, which is amazing. Right. And you say the body's designed to do that. And we're going to talk today about frequency sessions and medallions and all the ways that you can help us learn how we can do this. But first and foremost, I would really love to hear a little bit of your backstory, how you discovered this, form of healing as well. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself, starting back from where you're from, what type of work, were you in, and take us along a little bit of your journey, the good and the bad, please.
Well, basically, the biggest part of our background is in my wife, which she was trained in electronic and frequency medicine clear back in 1986 when she worked with Dr. Solomon she was in Idaho, and with Ed Skilling, who was one of the pioneers of the frequency and energy medicine back in those days. He was actually hired to take the old Rife equipment and change it from the radio tubes to solid state and to be able to improve it and work with it. And Leslie was trained to use that equipment when they were doing all their work at that time. And she learned how to do the frequency and energy and things like this from that point. And from then on, she's always been a big advocate of energy and health. Myself, I was not raised knowing anything about health. I come from Duluth, Minnesota. My family didn't know much about nutrition or anything like that. And I grew up not knowing much about vitamins or nutrition or really what the body needs, like most people really don't if they haven't been trained.
Correct.
But then I went to San Diego. I became a professional entertainer. I was a professional dancer for 26 years.
Amazing.
But while I was training to be a dancer, I was dancing 6 to 10 hours a day on top of everything else. And being in college, I didn't have a lot of money, so I wasn't eating really well. And I ended up very, very sick with malnutrition. And actually, I was just short of having to be hospitalized. Luckily, I connected with a gentleman who was a chiropractor who was also a nutritional expert. And he taught me about nutrition and helped me get back to the point where I was healthy again. And from that point on, I made it a point in my life to be aware of health because, well, when you're a dancer or any kind of athlete, if you don't take care of your health, you don't have anything to work with. And so I had to know how to do that. So I learned about nutrition. I learned about a lot of things that work with the body and how the body has to function to stay healthy. But through the years, and at one point, I actually owned a small vitamin company. Now we dealt with vitamins and nutrition. But as we go through the years, a lot of things have changed. Now, learning about nutrition and vitamins and supplements and the things about how bad a lot of the nutrition levels are in the foods we get these days, things have just gotten to the point where more and more you had to work beyond what we were originally taught. Decades ago, when I was working with people, we would work at how do you avoid toxins? Well, these days, that's no longer an issue. You can't avoid toxins. Everything you breathe, everything you drink, everything you eat has toxins. Everything you wear, everything you go around has toxins. Now, the thing is, how do you get your body to deal with those toxins? And that is a matter of making them go through, not store in your body, but actually get to the point where your body is healthy enough to keep them moving through. And that way you minimize the damage they do in your body. Now, we do it through, well, we work with, like I said, energy and frequency, but a large part of what we have to do is education. Help people understand that if you're going to be trying to be healthy, it takes a holistic effort. What we provide are tools that help your body heal itself. It kind of kickstarts it, helps it work in that. But if you want to really be healthy, you have to support that process. You have to look at how do you eat? What do you eat? What is your lifestyle like? Everything from emotion to mindset to what kind of, around EMF, around high powered lines. Are you in toxic relationships? Are you under high stress? What kind of eating do you do? All these things, they have to look at all these factors in order to understand what they have to do if they want to be healthy. Because we have people, they'll call us up and they say, okay, how long do I have to stay and how many times do I have to come to get healthy? And we have to tell them, well, the bottom line is you can come in here and we can help you start getting healthy because the energy will be there to help kickstart your body and do that. But if you go back out and do exactly what you were doing before that got you sick in the first place, you're just going to yo-yo back and forth. You're never going to get there because you're not doing what you need to do to make a difference in your life to actually give your body a chance to be healthy. So education is a large part of what we do.
Wow. And I want to break it down, specifically what you're doing, because people may not understand what this is all about and the energy enhancement system and what it's doing and how it all works, supporting the health, body, mind, and spirit. So would you mind kind of breaking it down for us and what we can expect if we were to come to book, a healing session? Did you want to elaborate on that specifically? Thank you.
I can do that. We have several ways of working with frequency here. We have what's called we have an energy enhancement system, which is in the back room. That way, in that particular system, it works with scalar field. Now, scalar is one of the basic energies of the universe, and it'll carry. So what we do is the equipment back there creates a scalar field and then heating frequency programs that we add into that. And therefore, when you go in there, it's actually an energy matrix in the room. You just have to sit down, relax back into a lounge and just relax because your body uses that energy to start working with itself, to start healing. The body is intelligent and knows what it needs, and it knows what to do if you give it what it needs to do it, to work with. So when that gets that energy in, the body creates its own priority system. It starts at the highest priority, starts working through it, and works through it that way. But everybody they respond to energy a little bit differently. Again, it can be everything from mindset to emotional situation to stress levels to genetics to all kinds of things. And so everybody's a little bit different. But when they come in there and they lay back in the energy to relax, it helps the body heal itself. And it does that in three particular ways right off the bat. It works at a lot of things all at once. But number one, it increases cell permeability, which means it opens up the cells to flush toxins out of the cells into the bloodstream for your body to get rid of them. Two, every cell in your body has a mitochondria. The mitochondria is the power center of the cell. And every healthy cell should have between a 70 to 90 millivolt charge. So when it gets below that, that's when it doesn't have the energy to really take care of itself. In a 2-hour session, every cell in your body is increased up to 70 to 90 millivolts. It's charged like charging a battery. And then your DNA, all of us, the DNA in every cell, our DNA, which is the blueprint for our body and how it functions, can become mutated by environment, by drugs, by radiation, by a lot of different things. So basically, everybody's DNA is somewhat mutated, so it's not operating quite the way it should. The energy system in there helps to reset that DNA to restructure itself back to what we call the divine blueprint, that which it was meant to be. And once it does that, it starts functioning better the way it should be. At the same time, it also cleans up your blood profile. It also increases your immune system by 149%. It balances both hemispheres of the brain. It works with your endorphins. It works with balancing the chemical and the hormonal flow in your body. It works through the entire body, and it works on a physical, mental, and emotional level. So even people with different types of problems emotionally or whatever find relief in there. And we've had a lot of interesting successes through there.
Amazing. And just let me, mention some. There's plenty, and I want to hear some amazing, testimonials, from yourself. But for example, here I'm reading. I wanted to let you know the results of Lacey's test after her first 2 hours in the EES system. The results are as follows: Lacey's lupus is now in remission. Her pancreas count was 519 before that, and it is now 92. Her doctor told her that he feels she will not need a pancreas operation. This is from Camille. Also, someone else mentions, and Kauai, after 1 year of medical attention for her heart palpitations and constant throbbing and pounding sound in her head, they are gone after 16 hours in the EES system. Also, Linda from the UK says, while working in Hawaii, I had the daily use of an EES system. It helped me to recover from breast cancer and improve my eyesight. I felt relaxed, more confident, and happier. And there's so many different testimonies. I would love to hear some of these clients' stories personally from you. Could you share a little bit about how people are benefiting from this?
I can do that. And to start with, I can give you my own story. Shortly before we got a little over 2 years ago, before we got our equipment, I ended up in the hospital with COVID pneumonia. And when I went in, they told me that there was no way I could survive. I was too sick. Luckily, my wife knew enough, and she helped me out through, and I ended up beating. I was in ICU for 2 weeks, and they told me I couldn't survive, but I ended up doing it. By the time I got out of the hospital, I was on oxygen. I had a huge blood clot in my lungs, and almost 2/3 of my lungs was almost totally destroyed. I got out of there, and for about almost 2 weeks before we got our equipment, during that time, I tried to get down off of the oxygen. I was on 4 liters of oxygen. I finally got it down to 3, but I was plateauing. It looked like it was like months to get off of oxygen. We finally got our equipment, got it in. I started spending time in it, and in 4 days, I was off oxygen. And the fourth day, it's hard to explain. The need for it just melted away. But then I was spending quite a bit of time in there. But in just over 4 months, I totally regenerated my lungs back to 100%. And I got my health back. And I'm 76 years old, and I'm in great health. My lungs are totally great now because the equipment gave me back my lungs. We have a woman here who's 82 years old, and this is the third time when she came to us, is the third time she had throat cancer in the last 5 years. First time they used radiation, and then it came back. Second time they used a proton process, and then it came back. And they told her she couldn't use any more radiation because it was just too much. They'd have to cut out half of her voice box and all this to help to work with it. And she comes to us, she says, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do surgery. So I want to know what you guys can do for me. So we started working with her here. Now, one of the things that's important to know is that when they do use chemo or they use radiation, even if they get rid of the tumor, usually it does not get rid of the cancer stem cells that are floating in your bloodstream in your body. And that's why frequently in the long term, it'll come back and all over the body because those stem cells are there. Well, they had tested her and they knew that she had a lot of abnormalities in her blood. And they told her that the likelihood is that she's going to have to operate. And also there's a good chance that cancer would start exploding all over her body. She started coming in here within the first month. We got rid of all the abnormalities out of her bloodstream. And we kept working with her on a regular basis. Now she waited to want to make sure it was totally, give us as much chance as possible. So she put her last scan off. And she went in, it was just actually a week ago Wednesday. She went in for her last scan or a scan, and her cancer was completely gone. She
Wow.
was just thrilled that they could not find anything in her throat. And she's continuing some work now to make sure it never comes back, because she's kind of skittish. Having it come back 3 times, she wants to make sure it's not coming back again, but she's totally clear right now. Now we're adjusting some of the treatment because she also has deteriorating discs. So we're working with those. We have
Wow.
another woman who came to us, and this woman, she has a ranch where she has horses and this, and she works with autistic children with the horses and this type of thing. And she had an accident with her lower spine that really messed up her spine badly, and she was in excruciating pain. Well, by the time she came to us, she had spent months going through physical therapy, going to chiropractors, things like this, and it barely made any difference. She came in, and she'd had a 2-hour session. And when she walked out, when she got in, she could barely get into a chair. When she got done, she was able to lift herself out of the chair without a problem. She had more relief from that 2 hours than she'd had in 3 months of PT. And so she was just excited. So she started to come back regularly. And we started working between the energy system in a room. We also have a plasma room that is a stronger form of delivering the frequencies for specific areas. And we have one program called Songs of the Spines. And it actually has different vertebrae for different frequency for every vertebrae in the spine. And by going through it, it can actually readjust the spine with frequency. So we started using that on her. We started working with getting rid of the inflammation in her back, working with realigning it. And a month later, she's back on a horseback. And she is just, she's getting her life back. She said now her worst days are so much better than her best days ever were, just not too long ago. And she comes in, she's like a little girl. She's I believe in her mid-40s, and she acts like a little girl when she comes in. She's just so excited because she's getting her life back, and she's pain free, and she's getting through. So she's so happy. We have another woman who came in, and she and her husband had sleep apnea. She'd had sleep apnea for over 20 years, and they have to have CPAPs at night they use to keep breathing at night. Also, she came in because she had a tumor in her brain, and they had to do brain surgery, and they opened up her skull, took that out. When they put her back together, she was having excruciating headaches, and her body was full of inflammation, and she was dealing with a number of issues. So we started working with her. Within a week, we got rid of the headaches. And then within a relatively short time, within about a month or so, she had gone for a thermographic scan, which showed her body just totally covered throughout. It was filled with inflammation. Within about a month, she's able to go back and find that almost all the inflammation was gone, which took most of the pain away. And so she was really happy about that. So we started working on a couple of other small things that she had. And then she mentioned the sleep apnea. Well, so we have medallions here that my wife creates by taking specialized programs for each individual situation, creates a program of frequencies that she embeds into the item. And then when you wear it or carry it, that target area resonates with that frequency and starts returning to its health frequency, which helps it heal itself. Well, she took a sleep apnea. My wife, Leslie, created a sleep apnea program for her in a medallion, and she put it under her pillow. And so she was working, and then she kind of forgot about it being there. And she was working through everything else. Then recently she went to do a sleep test again. And when the results came back, they said, you don't have any sleep apnea anymore. She had 2 forms of sleep apnea, and they were both totally gone. And all of a sudden she remembered that she had put that medallion under her pillow, and she just couldn't believe she no longer needs a CPAP. After 20 years, she didn't need a CPAP anymore because her sleep apnea is totally gone. She got one for her husband. Within days, he was starting to breathe better. And she started talking to all her friends, and all of them started using them and started getting results from them. So these are the type of things that make it worthwhile for what we go through to try and provide this for people.
Wow, this is amazing. I love hearing these stories. This is, I mean, and people in the medical community also are stunned with this. And I know I've heard of this before, and I know people who are doctors have, also, understanding that
Mhm.
there are alternative therapies out there, not just medicine these days. And I love that, people are getting a little closer into believing in other forms of treatment, in a sense, right?
Right.
Can I also ask you, you mentioned that you also do like a body scan. So is this part of the process when you come in? What's the body scan that you do and what can you see from this?
Well, the body scans we provide, it's something we added in because the EE system and this we have, there's centers all over the country, actually, for all over the world, but each one is individually owned. And so different things we add in. We added in some equipment. It's called a quantum resonance magnetic analyzer. And what it does is you just hold a wand in your hand. And the way it works is that at any given second, billions of cells in your body are they're splitting, growing, dying, et cetera. And this creates electrical current. In 60 seconds, it goes through every system in your body and registers that electrical current. And based on that, it can tell the condition of those systems. The actual report's over 100 pages long. But what we provide for the people is a printed summary, between 2 to 4 pages. So in that summary, anything that's in the normal range doesn't show up. But anything that's high or low, it shows so that you get a blueprint, basically, or a snapshot of the different things that you need to work on that your body requires. And by giving them that readout, that printout, well, we only do those no more than once a week. But once they get a second one or more, they can actually look back, compare them in black and white. They can see the kind of progress they're making in the different systems of their body. And it does everything from, okay, if they're short on vitamins, it shows vitamins and mineral deficiencies. It'll show if the blood vessels aren't as elastic as they should. It'll show that if the heart, if the valves aren't functioning quite like they should, if the digestive system isn't working quite like it should. It goes through all the different systems in your body and tells you how they're functioning based upon what should be normal for you. And by doing that,
Wow.
a lot of people find that to be extremely beneficial because when we talk to them about the holistic requirement to becoming healthy, and they start taking some supplements because they're short in vitamins or minerals and this type of thing, and start doing different things in their lifestyle to make changes. When they come and get the scan, and then they compare it, they can find out how effective the different things they're doing are and where they need to do more or make some changes. And that has been helping a lot of people understand what the systems are running, how they're going on, what's going on in their system, and what they need to do in order to affect it, and how effective some of those choices have been.
Ugh, amazing. And then what is the other two things you specialize in? Plasma equipment and is it RIF or RIFE? I'm not sure how to say
Rife,
it. What is
Rife.
that exactly? Thank you.
It's the Rife equipment is based upon Royal Rife, who actually cured cancer back in 1934. They took at that time, what he did is he figured out the frequency for different types of pathogens. Then he found out that there was a way that you could take a frequency that would interact with that in such a way that would destroy that without harming any cells around it. And so he was able to create equipment that would produce the right frequency to destroy certain cancer pathogens. And at that time, that a panel of doctors for a major hospital said, okay, let's see what you can do. They gave him 16 cancer patients that were all terminal. These are people they couldn't do anything more for. They gave them to him, and in 6 weeks, he cured every one of them. And he cured 14 of them. And in 2 more weeks, he cured the other 2. And at first, they were all, everybody's going, how wonderful this is. This is the future of medicine coming out. And then when the medical industry realized what that meant as far as cash flow, they decided that wasn't a good thing. And all of a sudden, all the articles started being pulled. His equipment was taken away from him, et cetera, et cetera. But that equipment was taken by people and then was utilized. The government was doing some things with it, and other people were doing things with it, and it was going from there. But the Rife equipment is a delivery system for frequency. Now, one that's even stronger, which also Rife was working with, but it's called plasma. Plasma is a delivery system that is the strongest way we know how to deliver frequencies at this time. And we use that for specific areas. Like, for instance, I was telling you about the songs of the spine. So it goes down the spine. We also have ways that can deal with, like when we were dealing with the woman with the throat cancer, we have one of our devices can put the energy directly into that area where the cancer was to help break it down. The interesting thing about when you're dealing with cancer or a lot of other things like this, even at the frequency and energetic level, is that it has to be done in a sequence. And the cancer that creates a lot of taken out, and so you need to clean, heal. So it's kind of a kill, clean, heal sequence, and we work in that with the different equipment. And also, when you think about the energy systems that are in the room, our bodies are a system of systems. In other words, everything works with each other. And if anything comes offline, it's causing a cascade effect by overbalancing or underbalancing certain other aspects. So whenever we work with something with the plasma or with Rife to work in a specific area, then we also have put them into the room with the energy so that it becomes reintegrated with all the other systems, and overall health is increased. So we work with them together.
This is amazing. And I love that you emphasize, this need for a holistic approach of health, right? So providing all these different tools to help the body heal yourself. And this is amazing. And I love, hearing your clients and your friends and your family that you've helped in so many different ways. Now, also, you're based out of, let me just point out, this is in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, correct?
Right. Kannapolis, we're just north of Charlotte.
Beautiful.
On the outskirts of Charlotte.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So if you are again here just tuning in, we have had a great conversation with Sonny Carl talking about the work that him and his wife are doing at Scalar Health and Enhancement Center. Thank you so much for being here today and for joining us. We really appreciate it. Now, Sonny.
Thank you for having us on. I appreciate having the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Sonny. Why don't you tell our listeners how we can contact you?
Okay. Well, Scalar Health Enhancement Center is in Kannapolis. Our website is scalarhealthenhancement.com. Scalar means SCALAR, not ER. So scalarhealthenhancement.com. And we have our phone number is 704-490-5483. Online, we have all our contact information. We have a great deal of information up there. Appointments can be made on there. The whole thing is there. And anytime anybody has any questions, we welcome any question. Give us a call. We're happy to answer any questions at any time, because that's what we're here for.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Sonny. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this amazing work. And I hope people really do take advantage of it and realize, health, there's a whole health system out there and everyone working together and holistically now. There's so many benefits to this, to helping. Please reach out to Sonny. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.